This is a CBS 21 News special, The Future of PA Farming, sponsored by Farm Credit.
A celebration of Pennsylvania agriculture, that is the Farm Show. As we fly high over one of the biggest events in the state, we are also looking ahead. How could this amazing event change as the agriculture industry itself evolves? Pennsylvania is covered by more than 7 million acres of farmland and nearly 50,000 farms. All of that bringing more than $132 billion into the state's economy, employing 600,000 Pennsylvanians. And that's why tonight we're taking a closer look at the future of this industry. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jasmine Brooks. We are at the Farm Show, and we have a panel of experts to bring you this town hall tonight. Let's introduce right now our panel. We begin with Aaron Ott, president of Country View Family Farms. Dave Smith, executive director of the Pennsylvania Dairymen's Association. Dr. Troy Ott is the dean of Penn State's College of Agricultural Sciences, and Darren Miller is senior vice president of corporate lending at Farm Credit. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I said, can you just give us a one-liner of really who you are and what you're about?
Sure. As mentioned, I'm Aaron Ott, and I had the privilege of leading the swine production group for Clemens Food Group.
Nice. Dave?
Well, I am a fourth-generation farmer, but I have the opportunity to sell milkshakes to raise some money to give away to next-generation agriculture.
Okay, well, they're really good, Dave. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Dr. Ott?
I get to work with some of the very best scientists and educators to discover the next innovations that you'll see at the Farm Show in 5 and 10 years from now.
And finally, Darren Miller, tell us about yourself.
Yes, I have the privilege of working for Horizon Farm Credit in the agribusiness field, and proud to be part of the largest ag lender and supporter of rural communities in Pennsylvania.
I love it. All right, I want to start with the farmers. We're going to call you guys the farmers. I talked to actually a group of women yesterday. They're two women. They started their own yogurt line, and they said, we're saving our family's farm. And so they said, farming's really changing. Tell me about that from your point of view. How is farming changing?
Well, to kick things off, I think, Pennsylvania specifically has been able to differentiate in the market versus maybe a lot of the center part of the country. And I think as long as Pennsylvania ag can continue to differentiate and produce a product that our customers want, we'll always be relevant.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, I think farming is changing in the fact that there are intense pressures on Pennsylvania farmers in the form of pressures on real estate prices and other costs of technology, and it's a challenge for everybody to keep up with. But with the people and team here, these are the things and opportunities that will come forward that we will succeed in those challenges.
Okay, Dr. Ott, I'm so interested in this because I didn't really know in college, I can go into agriculture. I didn't even think of that. What are you teaching your students? What do they want to learn? What's going on at your school?
Well, depending on what areas they're going into, whether it's plant sciences, animal science, food science, forestry, natural resource management, they have to take a base curriculum that prepares them to be successful. So in the we bring science to agriculture, and in the early years of their training, they're taking basic courses in math and chemistry, things like that. And then as they get in the upper division, we're beginning to apply those principles to how they will be successful in their jobs, including things like incorporating modern technologies that we have on campus, things like AI, and how we incorporate that into teaching and learning. So again, it's a progression from building the foundation to bringing in modern tools and then giving them the social skills and the teamwork skills so they can enter the workforce and be contributing members of society and hopefully stay here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Darren, Farm Credit, people are thinking, what's that? Fill us in.
Yeah, so Farm Credit is part of the nationwide Farm Credit system, which is a network of member-owned cooperatives. And, our responsibility and our mission is to provide consistent access to capital for our farmers, ranchers, and those in our rural communities. And everything, as we already mentioned, is getting more expensive, and so providing access to that capital is a critical piece to keeping agriculture moving in Pennsylvania.
And you actually gave back a little bit, like you want to invest in future farmers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Correct, yeah. So one of the unique things about Farm Credit is that we're member owned and we're a cooperative. So when we turn a profit, we return a portion of those funds back to our members, and it's a pretty significant amount, almost $80 million in 2024.
Okay, I'm going to go back to our farmers now. So, Aaron, what are some of the changes that you've seen over the past few years, recent changes in the farming industry?
Yeah, I would say if I think about the last 15 years specifically, there's been a shift, I think, in what people want to know about where their food comes from. Okay. So I think how we've adapted is just, hey, we don't have anything to hide. Very proud of the industry we're in. If you tell the story for the last 50 years, it's a really awesome story on how agriculture has innovated and become more and more efficient. So I think largely it's how we became more transparent, say, in the last several years, to let our consumers be comfortable with where their food comes from. And
something that I've seen, like just as an adult in general over the last, 20 years, is a lot of like farm-to-table restaurants. That's kind of transparency, wouldn't you say, in a sense? Yeah. Like, is that part of a movement? What do you think, Dave?
Well, absolutely. It's a movement that people want to buy local products.
Yeah.
And that's a niche, and it's an area where our Pennsylvania farmers can fill a need if they provide a local product rather than through the larger food system. So that's important. My son's a fifth-generation farmer, and that's the avenue that he is taking to direct market more products directly to consumers.
Dr. Ott, are there different, ways to go about the agriculture industry through your college? I mean, are there things that maybe our viewers don't even know exist that we could be studying and learning?
Well, absolutely, and I'd like it connected to the comments that Aaron made. And Pennsylvania is unique. Geographically, we are really the keystone in the Mid-Atlantic region. We are located near large population centers that are willing to pay for a high-quality product that's differentiated in the marketplace. And so when we think about making Pennsylvania agricultural great, we don't want to become Nebraska or Indiana. We want to be the best Pennsylvania that we can be, and we really have a lot of things going for us. We have a really favorable climate, we're really good with water, and we have high-quality workforce available to our farmers. So in that regard, I think that we can take advantage of those higher value markets, especially as things like transportation become more and more expensive.
Okay, guys, we have so much more to get to, but in the meantime, as we head to break, there is a little worker that is incredibly important when it comes to the future of agriculture. I was dancing with a bee yesterday, and we're talking about bees. Take a look at this as it plays a major role in the supply chain. We are talking about bumblebees, and here is a look at just how important they are as we head to break. We'll be right back.
If you sit down and try and eat a meal without anything that the honeybee has pollinated, you're going to be very hungry because everything that you eat is pollinated by honeybees. A couple years ago, they were to the point that my honeybees were dying. Part of the reason that they were dying was because people like nice green lawns, so they go out and spray all those dandelions and all those weeds. My bees need those dandelions. When we have a spring pollen and those bees get out there and they start bringing that back, they're signaling to the rest of the beehive that spring is here and they need to get busy.
Welcome back to our CBS 21 News special at the Farm Show this week. People are really getting the chance to see some of the new farming technology. I'm Jasmine Brooks. Thanks so much for joining us. We are talking all about technology in this next segment, and I want to bring in our panel of experts to help me do it. Darren, I want to get to you because when we left off, we're on you now, and I have a lot of questions about farm credit. What do people come to you specifically asking?
Sure. Yeah. No, we get questions about financing construction projects, real estate purchases, equipment, anything that you can imagine that would show up on a farm. And we were talking just a little bit ago about technology, and we see the cost of technology and the things that are needed by our agriculture community to continue to operate that cost is oftentimes needed to be financed. And so we see that with Precision Ag coming through our Farm Credit Express program, which is available at most equipment dealerships around the footprint. We see that in technology going into new barns, whether it's dairy parlors that are now rotary, or other operations that enable them to reduce labor and provide a better quality product.
I'm just curious. So people come to you, for a loan. How much money do they need to do all this? Anywhere from what to what?
Yeah, that's a great question.
$10, $20?
Yeah, a little more than that. So, on the same day, we could book a $5,000 loan, and we could book a $25 million loan.
$25 million.
Yeah. So the scope and scale of Pennsylvania agriculture and the agriculture that we are fortunate enough to support is kind of mind blowing. And oftentimes people don't recognize the amount of capital that's needed to keep our food system and agriculture moving.
Well, that's a really good point. So I think the average person kind of knows that it costs a lot of money to run a farm. But how about if we're going to school to get into this industry? Is there good money there for our younger generation watching?
Well, certainly there's plenty of good, high-paying jobs that are out there. And in fact, we can't graduate enough students for the demand over the next 20 to 30 years. So at Penn State, we are planning to increase enrollment to make sure those students come out well-versed in the technologies that they need to be successful. And also, if you think again about Pennsylvania farms, how diverse they are, we have to support all of agriculture, and that's everything from forestry through mushrooms and everything in between. And so this is quite a diverse agricultural operation. So when you come to Penn State, there are many opportunities. So sometimes students come in thinking they want to do one thing, and they leave with a different degree, just as good. And that's one of the things about Penn State is we're large, we're diverse, and we have excellence across the board.
Is Penn State known for this study, agriculture?
We are one of the very best colleges of agriculture in the nation, and I'm very proud to be part of that organization. And some of the things that we do, we're the very best in the nation. Our extension program is probably the best extension program in the country. And we continue to build on that. We are never satisfied with where we are, and we have a lot of work to do.
Okay, so Dave, you're a what generation farmer now?
My son is the 5th generation farmer on our farm.
So talk about the technology and the technological advances over your lifetime that you've seen.
Yes. The technology needed in agriculture today is what we're seeing is the cusp of a industrial revolution many years ago. I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg of the different things that are possibilities to fine-tune our production practices and increase our production practices. So there's a lot of opportunities. It is very costly, as we mentioned. I think in Pennsylvania, because of the diversity of farms, sometimes our farmers rely on a person that specializes in an area of crop production or animal production to cut down on those costs and share those costs over a bigger pool.
And Aaron, how do you guys take advantage of technology?
Probably more than I can share today, but to name a few, in large part, for instance, our feeding stations are electronic. So we literally put a chip in the ear, it reads it. Our team members now are managing how we feed animals through electronic sow feeding, as an example.
Give us another one. This is interesting. Give us another example.
So another one is what we call smart controllers, and you alluded to it earlier on financing some of these projects. But being able to have remote access to ventilation, water usage or disappearance, run times on feed systems. We can measure about anything that you can imagine that you can put a sensor on. We can measure it.
Wow. Yeah, you look like you have to say something.
Yeah.
Yes.
As Aaron said, it's absolutely fascinating, the technology with cattle and livestock, because in addition to the tags that the hog systems have, dairy cattle have what we call Fitbits.
I'm sorry?
Cow Fitbits.
A Fitbit for a cow?
Almost like a Fitbit, yes.
Okay.
They're in their ears, and
Tell
they can measure mobility, and they can measure temperature and rumen, stomach activity. If a cow or an animal is not eating well, the owner knows to go check on that animal and see what's going on.
Oh my gosh, I need one of those for my husband, my dog, my cat. my children, a Fitbit for a cow. That's amazing. Our panel of experts have so much more to say, and we are having a lot of fun here at the Farm Show. This week we got the chance to see some of that new technology that we're talking about on display. As we head to break, here's a look at how cows won't just fuel you in the future.
The methane-powered tractor runs on compressed natural gas or methane, depending on how you want to look at it. What we're looking for in the future is just cleaner burning energy, the ability to take methane from biodigesters, like the subject of the butter sculpture here this week. The normal version of this tractor would be a diesel, has the same horsepower as a diesel tractor, just cleaner emissions. So we sold our first one last year, and we've got about 40 that we're looking to sell this year in North America.
Hey guys, this is Jasmine Brooks here. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special town hall here at the Farm Show. We just absolutely love you joining us from home. You know, as we look to the future of farming, one thing that we have to make sure is that the people are taking care of the farm. We need the people to continue caring for the farms here in Pennsylvania. And at the Farm Show, you see a lot of farmers, right? Well, we recently spoke to the Agriculture Secretary, who says he really feels good about the future of farming. Take a listen.
In the last census, we have more young farmers under the age of 35 than any other state in the nation. Right? That's comforting. More farmland preserved in the other states. So you start putting things together. So I feel pretty confident about that. And we have a lot more urban farmers who want to come in.
So it appears to be growing. Farming is still going strong. I said, guys, can you think of a personal story? How have you helped someone get into the industry, or what resonates in your head? Anybody want to share something? I'd love that. Yeah,
I'll jump off. At Farm Credit, we have a team of lenders that every day is sitting down across the table from a young person who wants to start farming, and a lot of times they're asking for some money in order to do that. We have young people that we have started farming and are still working with them 10 years down the road, and that's one of the great things about working for Farm Credit, that we get to do that.
Dr. Ott?
Well, there's countless, since we have thousands of students, but I would say, for example, we have a young entrepreneur who got involved in research when he was at Penn State, developed some intellectual property, patented that, and now has a company, and recently he was listed as one of the 30 under 30 for this innovation in agriculture. And this happens all the time. We find kids coming from urban and suburban areas and coming through Penn State and going out and being managers of dairy farms.
That's so cool.
We can take people and show them something they've never seen before, and it's really rewarding to be part of that.
Dave, how about you?
Many people think agriculture is about farming and driving a tractor or taking care of livestock. And agriculture is so much broader than that, and there are so many different careers and opportunities in technology and production agriculture that it is so diverse that there are opportunities for everyone.
And while I have you, Dave, what is the special milkshake for next year?
Oh, that's a secret. Can't say.
Totally kidding. Aaron, can you share with us something?
Sure. I would. We talked about technology a little bit ago. None of that will work if we don't have highly skilled, highly intelligent people working on our farms. We can automate and innovate the farm as technology allows, but the people to manage that and to use the information at their fingertips to make real-time decisions will be the difference.
Future farm. Oh, yes, please.
I was going to say, so we invest very heavily in leadership development programs, like new college graduates coming in. It's not just about the technical skill, but it's also about the soft skills of how to interact with people, lead effective meetings, deliver results through a team. It's all those skills, too, that we continue to invest in ongoing.
We have 20 seconds left. Think of one resource someone watching can take with them right now. One resource.
Yeah, Farm Credit has a great programs for young and beginning farmers. Jumpstart, Grow Ahead, Ag Biz Masters. Check us out.
Penn State has extension educators in every county in Pennsylvania who can help you with any problem with agriculture and can connect you to Penn State if you're thinking about getting a degree from Penn State.
One resource, Dave.
The Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture has some really good grant programs as self-starters.
Nice. One resource.
Country View Family Farms and Clemens Fair Group are always recruiting top talent, no compromise. There's a place and a career path if you're interested in a career.
If you're hiring?
We're hiring every day.
All right, very good. We'll be right back. take this opportunity to thank you all for joining us on this special, taking a closer look at the future of Pennsylvania farming. Thank you to my panel. CBS 21 News at 6 starts now.